Today we're having a look at the Christmas Craft Off 2024. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. Now in front of me you'll see the lineup of all the collaborators that have taken part in the Christmas Craft Off 24. There are 2 videos going out every day for the remainder of this month. And today we've also got Crafty Landing, that's Marie from Crafty Landing, and the pair of us are going to be looking at nostalgic holiday postcards. This has been hosted by Rach and Bella Crafts, and if you look in the description box below you will find the link to Rach and Bella's website. You can then go onto the collaboration page. From the drop down menu you will find all of the collaborators and it's been laid out in a nice advent calendar style. You'll be able to click on each person's name and you will be able to follow along. That will take you directly to their channel links. And here we are, we're on day 26. I'm Melanie and this is the Treasured Page. Now all the collaborators will be using a kit as set by Rach and Bella Crafts. Now there's several parts to this kit, but today I'm going to be taking images from the Fussy Cut kit and the Add-On kit. Now the kits that all the collaborators are using is Nostalgic Noel from Rach and Bella Crafts, and the link again is below in the description. There's a massive 40% off right now and there is several parts to this kit, and what I've got here is just some of it. It's extensive, there's absolutely loads, but I've picked out the ones that are going to help me get my ideas going for today's project, which is nostalgic postcards. I'm going to perhaps use something from here, and then I've got some stamps which are going to be useful making postcards, and also we've got smaller ones here which is probably what I'm going to be using today. And then these can also be postcards as well, which can be cut out, so I'm going to be using that sheet. And then I've printed off some tags here because I thought we could alter those, and then I found this which definitely reminded me of a postcard, so I thought I might use that. And then I've also printed out some of the lovely labels that's been provided onto cream paper and just wanted to show you that that's how they look on cream paper. Now we are operating here in the evening and I've got sort of a low light because it's a nice cozy evening to be doing this. Here in the UK it's very cold, we've been putting on the fire, and here are some mini folio images also printed on the cream paper. So I'm going to have a play, I'm going to cut everything out and then we'll put it together. We'll have some really easy ideas and something a little bit more involved. Okay, I now have a sea of images in front of me, and I always find once I've cut things out and I can see them in their physical form and not a digital image on a screen, suddenly inspiration starts to take over because you can pick up the pieces, you can feel them, you could then work out different ways and what you might like, building up tucks and pockets and all sorts of fun things. Alright, so to create postcards we need to start thinking what a nostalgic postcard means to us. So for me here I have some vintage postcards that are originals. They are Margaret Tempest and they depict some little animals in the snow or cuddling up and snuggling down in their quilted beds, and on the back here they are originals. You can see the old stamp and they're very damaged and they're from 1943. So here we can see we've got some crinkling of time, we've got the off-white, that cream colour, we've got a darkened edge. So these are authentic pieces and this is how it looks when you have a vintage piece. There are going to have tears, there's tattered bits, there's bent bits, so we can maybe consider that and bring that into our designs if we want to have a worn, torn, vintage look. That's possible. So I've laid everything out just so that I can have a play. These are the folios. There was 2 to a sheet and I've already folded one in half. And here I've put all the little pieces that I've kept from the Fussy Cut, so little pockets and things. I did think that these were a brilliant idea. They're nice and small, they're perfect to be tucked into a pocket, and you can add little journaling cards and things inside. So I'm trying to keep myself neat around the craft table so I don't get overwhelmed. Those are fantastic. So when we think about postcards, there's several things we can do. We can either find an existing postcard and we can decorate over the top of it, and then we keep the written bit. Perhaps you've got a plain one that you'd like to keep because it looks nice, but you don't care for the image on the front. Then you can collage and decorate over an existing postcard. You may even have some holiday postcards with a glossy front to it, something that you would like to cover over and reuse. But you can also find blank postcards at the stationery store, and this is something that you could turn them over and you could stick down some of the images here. So if you've got anything like that, or if you've got index cards, they work perfectly as well. And I've just cut down some manila file folder to make some postcard size pieces. So I've got 4 things here to decorate if I want. So if you'd like to craft along with me today, you're going to need a stick glue, you're going to need some images that you're inspired by, and you're going to need a substrate piece to become your postcard. And the sizing we're working with today is 5.5 by 3.5 inches, which is 14 centimetres by 9 centimetres. Now the other supply, of course, that you can pull in is going to be your scraps. If you've got any scrap papers that are vintage, that would be great. If you want to use music paper, I always think that that works so well with the Christmas theme. And I'm so pleased that you're here today with me. This feels like a hot chocolate moment, so let's get into the craft. We're going to keep it simple. We just need to have our ink, our glue, our scissors, and our substrate cardstock. Right, let's have a look. Now, we're going to be adapting things today. We're going to have a look at the kit, and we're looking for images that we can alter. So these are tags from the Add-On Ephemera Kit. We're going to use our file folder card, which is not particularly strong, but as we add the paper here, it will strengthen it up. So using your favourite glue stick, you just need to cover the backs of your images that you want to see on your postcard, making sure you go right up to the edges all the way around so that you avoid the peeling up. So I'm just putting that down. Remove the excess here. And now we just trim round. Now these are going to be directional postcards, so this is going to sit lovely in a journal, and that can go in a pocket and be really great here. Now we can see we've got a slight angle in there. That's quite nice. I might peel that up and just echo that down the bottom here. So just when that started to come in as a tag top, I'm just going to take that little triangle off there, and then that becomes part of the design feature. So you could do that ahead of time because that actually looks quite nice now. All right, so that is one of our postcards done. Now for this, I'm thinking we'll just have an ink around, but it's also quite modern and fresh and new. And when we're thinking about nostalgia or any sort of vintage postcard, I just sort of expect a little bit of aging and worn texture on the edges. So I'm coming in with vintage photo from the distressed range here, but any brown ink will be fine. If you've got an ink blending tool, you can go round in a circular motion and just come in, and that will ink both edges at the same time. So you don't need to ink this before you stick it down, because you can capture that at the end like this. So this really is all we need to do. We're just bringing that in, giving it a framed border, and that is a vintage style, quite nostalgic, as everything is in this kit. And then if you want to bend an edge, you could do that. So there's a little sort of an idea of a bent bit there. Let's just put one in, just bend it, take your ink and blend along the edge, and then bring that back up, and you've created the look of something worn and old. And then on the back we'll do the same thing, and we'll just bring in this worn, aged colour of the vintage photo, and then we'll emphasize the damage bit on this side just by bending it back, rubbing over the ink and just creating that look. So there's a very quick, simple way of creating a nostalgic holiday postcard. In just a few steps, you have got something that you can add to your journal. So on this one, I'd like to leave a border all the way around. I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to come in, leave myself a gap, and I'm just going to cut across the top there, so that we've left with a border. So we can put this through a trimmer to make sure that we've got a nice true straight line there. I think I like the idea of the little corners, so I'm just going to take those corners off ever so slightly on all four sides there, just remove those. So we've taken the corners off there. We can now see that if we stick this all down, we would have the same effect, but with a border all the way around. What I'm going to suggest though is that we create an interactive element for our second postcard, and we're going to put a thumb hole in the top. If you have a 1-inch circle punch, what you can do is just give yourself a little dip, and there you have the start of a little pocket there. All right, I'm using the very edge of my glue to give me a thin line which goes all the way around. I'm just going to double check I've got it on the corners and that we're happy. And then I'm going to stick this down, giving myself a border all the way around. Move that down, so now we've got a little pocket in the top. That's really sweet. We're going all the way around with our vintage photo. I'm circling around, going onto the paper first, then onto the project. So onto the paper, onto the project. That distributes the ink in a very nice, smooth, blended way. Just brings in that warm tone. If you've got glue seeping out, then you can rub that off. And here's how we're looking. One with a pocket, one without, and a nice piece of note paper to put the many lists that come at this time of year somewhere to just tuck something as a reminder. Perhaps we want a little tab on the top there to pull that out. So we'll keep that there as an idea, but there's 2 postcards so far. And if you've got a postcard rubber stamp, you could put that on and create the postcard look. So there's the back of both of those postcards. Now for these ones, I'm going to put the ink on first. All right, now I'm inking around the edges using a Distress Oxide ink in antique linen. That's because the card stock I'm using here is slightly lighter than the manila file folder I used before. So I've come in with it looking like that, a little bit sort of smoky. And then I'm going to add my girls down there like that. But what I want to do is go around these ones with vintage photo, so we get a slight contrast of light and darker colour. Okay, now I'm coming in with a darker ink. We're using vintage photo. I'm picking the paper up and getting a very strong edge as I just swipe the ink dauber over the side. So for anyone not familiar with inking, there's 2 methods. We've got the circular motion that we've done to give you a nice smoky edge. So I've used the antique linen in an oxide ink around there. That's going to be our border. And now for the top image, I'm coming in with the darker edge. So if we want to have a crinkle on any of this, we just bend it slightly, add in a little crease there, emphasize that. And then when we put that down, let's just see, we're going to get a nice contrast of colour. And that's how that's going to appear. And then the same over here. Okay, adding the glue right to the edge. This one's going to be stuck down completely. So we'll put this up here, leaving a little border at the top all the way around. That looks like one of those vintage photographs that you can get. So that's really lovely. Now this one could have a side tuck if you want. You could add a little divot hole there. So we'll do that. Just put ink round the dip there just to blend that, make that all meant. And then this one can come and sit down here. So there was more space on this side of the girl, so I put the thumb hole there. So we've now got a tuck point there for something. So that could be something that we have in there potentially. And to tie this all together, I'm going around again with the darker edge with the vintage photo. Could be a walnut stain, could be anything. Could be a darker brown in any colour. You could use more festive colours. You could use the red tones, so you could have an aged mahogany, that sort of thing that could go round the edging there. Just making a little bit darker on the edge will give you a nice vintage vibe. So these were our easy postcards. We've just stuck images down. We've just, on this one, we've left more of a border, but we've introduced the idea of a aging effect on here and here. So we've got those, and then these ones we've had pockets being put in, so we've got two little ideas going on there. Now I want to embellish these two further. Now I've got some very old vintage music paper, sheet music paper, and I just think that that could look really sweet there. So what I want to do is I'm just going to rip a little bit off. Let's just see how much we want. Tear this away. So tear that away and just see how much we can have. There we go. And a little ink around there with the vintage photo, and I think that that's going to look really nice down there. So we've got that. Now let's have a look what else we've got in the kit to just give us some area of interest down the bottom here. Now I've got a set of stamp embellishments here. These are quite large, so these are going to act as embellishments for the front, and I'm just looking at this and I'm wondering whether this stamp here might work or this one. So I'm going to cut out a couple and just offer them up and see, just using my fussy cutting scissors here from Tim Holtz, cutting out some of these larger stamps and just roughly cutting them out to see what I would like. I quite like that one with the bell. With the fussy cutting scissors, I'm just doing a little wiggle. I can't sort of see where I need to be, and I haven't got any scissors that would give me the perforation of a stamp, so I'm just doing a suggestion of it by just wiggling the paper as I go. So I think that that's great. So I've cut out my stamps and now I'm just offering them up. We've got the little girl looking for her tree in the snow. That works, that's nice, got the colours that will work. This one is another angel and she's already got wings, so I think that that's too many wings on that one. We've got the bell. I love this one because there's a musical element and I've got musical notes. The colours work, and we've got a little pop of red which matches in with her cheeks and her lips, so the sentiment there of Christmas wishes is quite nice, but we have also got wording along the back. This one, that works beautifully because it's the same colour tone, but it could be a bit samey. We've got wording down here and here, not really connecting in with the music, but I do love it. And then this one looks a bit like a church, but there's too many colours going in. We're now bringing in a stronger blue and we've only got a little bit up here. So what do you think? It's totally personal. They all work, but I'm thinking for this one, I just like this with the sentiment. So I've glued down my vintage sheet music there, but as part of the kit, one of the pages does give you a collage sheet, and there is some musical paper there as well, so you could use that from the main kit. Okay, so this one is going to have that, so we just want to ink around our edge, take away that crisp white, brand new, fresh off the printer look, and turn it into something that has come from the 1930s. And with a couple of flicks of our blending tool, we have turned that into something from a bygone age. Now what I've done here is I've angled this down so it doesn't line up anywhere. So there we go, that is a 3-piece collage. You can of course add more to it if you wanted. You could put a sentiment on there, you could put something at the top, but I'm thinking that that is very lovely as it is. It's got plenty going on there, it tells a little story, and it's really pretty. And it's nice and flat, so when the glue has dried, that will straighten itself back out. We now just need to come around, give a little inked edge all the way around, and then we can have some fun putting on a different stamp for our postcard. Now for this card, where we've got a portion at the bottom which I feel needs embellishing, that's perfect for a sentiment, so you could definitely put a rubber stamp there if you've got a sentiment that you would like to add. That would be great. As another idea, we've got some more stamps and some interesting things here. These are book covers, and I'm just wondering what they would look like as an indication of what might be in this parcel that this girl's been given. So I'm just going to cut out these 3 books here from the fussy cutting kit. I think that these could be quite fun to have down the bottom. I think I like that idea, so I'm just cutting them free. And just to let you know that there is a giveaway going on with this whole collaboration. You'll be able to find more details from the link below if you have a look at Rach and Bella's website. There's lots of giveaways which are from the creators here on all the YouTube channels that you're watching. So to enter the giveaway, you would need to watch all the videos in the collaboration, and you need to leave a like and a comment. So if you're enjoying watching my video today, do please give me a thumbs up and consider leaving a comment of how you have enjoyed the video, or what you've enjoyed the most, what you might like to make, and if you've enjoyed my presentation, perhaps you'd consider subscribing to the channel. So I'm inking around these vintage books. We've got The Night Before Christmas, there we go. We've got Christmas Fairy, and we've got Winter, Snow, Summer, Sunshine, and this one's got a cat on it, so I think that that's really sweet. So we're just using the stick glue. We're going to glue these down. All right, I'm going to put these in. Let's just have a little play with the placement. Put them down, still leaving a border at the bottom there. And there we go, that's really sweet. That just gives an indication as to what she might be getting for Christmas. So we've made 4 so far. This one was nice and straightforward. This one again, we just added 2 more embellishment pieces on there. This one was just stuck down with a cutout pocket, and we're adding some writing paper in this one. And over here we've stuck this down, we've added 3 embellishments on the bottom, and again we can add something and tuck that in there. Now from this portion of the fussy cut kit, I'm going to take this image of the girl with the little kitten, and I'm going to show you 2 more ideas, and then we're going to see how everything looks in the journal. So bringing together what we've looked at so far, we're taking the 3rd tag which came off the original sheet of 3. We're going to be adding it on in exactly the same way as we have done before, and we're just going to be making up another postcard, but this time we're going to have the direction of the postcard facing landscape, not portrait. So I've glued on my tag, and I have inked around the border to give it an aged, nostalgic, vintage feel. There are 2 ways of doing this now. We're going to add this image here as a focal point. We could add it here and have every postcard going in this portrait way. That way you would see the little cardinal bird which is down the bottom. Or what I'm proposing to do is we have a postcard going this way, which is more traditional, and we would lose the bird, but we would have then this winter foliage, and then our cat and our girl become the focus of this postcard. Anything to do with vintage, it just needs to look a little bit worn, and it becomes all the more authentic. All right, now I'm covering the back in stick glue, and what I want to also add is some extra embellishment, and I think it would be really nice if we add in some lace. So making sure that I've got the lace the right way up, I'm going to be adding this in just to peep through, so you'll be able to see it coming out the other side. So I'm just going to put that down there on that side, and the same again over here. Now over the top I just want to put some stronger glue. It could be an art glitter glue. This is a PVA glue. I'm using the art glitter nozzle, which fits quite nicely with Anita's tacky glue. I've been using this for some time. I do have to water it down, but it's a much more of a cost-effective way of getting the glue that I want that's affordable. All right, I'm turning this over. We've got this embellished piece coming down here. Now this isn't supposed to look perfect. This is a bit of junk journaling going in here. So the more wibble wobbled the better. And there we go, look at that, isn't that fun? With a little bit of lace embellishment coming through there, and then I'm just going to flatten it out as I put round my ink with the vintage photo, pressing everything down, and then I'm going to show you how I add the stamp and just do my decoration. But to take it a step further, I found my gold pen, and I'm just thinking that I could embellish some of the stars here, so I'm just sort of putting in this gold paint, just trying to aim that in and making those stars pop out a little bit more. I'm just using my gold gel pen here, and I'm going over the stars and just really making them a little bit more embellished here so that I can really see those stars pop off that dark background, just going over them with that nice glitzy gold just to give it a little bit of an extra. And I think if you've got any embellishment here, you could add that on. You could stick down a golden star, or you could put some little sticky gems on. You know, anything goes at this time of year. You could really have some fun with the embellishments on this piece. So that's how that's looking. Okay, I'm pleased with that, and now I'm going to have a look at my stamp on the back. I'm just putting some ink around this stamp of the girl with the tree, and I'm going to have that there. And now we can see the others that I have done previously, and all I've done that's different is I've added some rubber stamps, and I've put some wavy lines and a little postage mark there. So I'm just going to do that again. I've got a stamp here with some wavy lines. I've got some black ink, archival ink, and I'm just going to put my wavy lines on here. So let's have the wavy lines going down there. That's fun. We've got a lot of writing space here all the way across, and I'm going to find a stamp here and give it a postage mark up here, which is on the stamp as well. So we'll add that in there, and that looks really good. I'm pleased with these. Look at the backs, aren't they fun? So those are really fun. We've got them all looking like this. They're really, really nice. And then just having the ink around just makes them look a little bit more authentic. And then on these ones, I've added an additional rubber stamp which said postcard. So I happen to have that. So those were really good. So there we go. We've made some really fun things here today. So here are our postcards. We've got our embellished lace one there, looking great with the stamp of the little girl and the tree on the back. We've got this one, which is a 3-piece collage, very straightforward and simple to do when you break it down. And again, we've got that on the back. Then we've got our interactive piece with the 3 decorative books on the bottom there, and I've got a little piece that goes in here which is writing space. So that is just some note paper folded in half, and then it's got one of these stamps. Now if you look at this, this was cut out of the kit and it was just a double piece of paper. Now these stamps come from the kit here. There's another one there on the bottom, so that was just in there as part of this stamp embellishment. So they can go like that. And then that is added into our little tuck here, and it just is signifying that something's in there. And then that's what's on the back there with the tree, all from the kit. And then we've got this one. I've put a little bit of ribbon up there for the writing paper that we've got in there. So that's another little hidden tuck, and then it's looking like that on the back. And then this one was just very straightforward and beautiful, and it just allows the image to do the talking. And then over here we've got that looking like that, nice and simple, lots of writing space, a great little journaling card in the form of a postcard. Those are brilliant. I'm really pleased. I'm going to show you what they look like in the journal, but I've got one last idea. So this is part of the Nostalgic Noel Add-On Ephemera Kit. This is an envelope that you can cut out, and then you will fold along all the lines and you'll be able to make yourself a little envelope, and then that can come and slot on the side of pages, and on the other side you will see this image and that will be your envelope. But what I'm suggesting we do is that we cut away the top and the bottom, just leave this middle section. Now, because you can print these out as many times as you like, you can do lots of different ideas. So we're now going to be left with this as our middle piece. We've got all pieces looking like that. So we've got this piece. I'm now going to treat this as if this is the postcard. So on the back here, I'm going to glue down my stamp that I've got spare. This is the last one that I cut out. I'm just going to add that in there, and then I'm going to add on my wavy lines. I'm going to put those there like that, and then I'm putting on my postage stamp there as well. So now I've got it looking like that. So this has been printed out onto heavier paperweight. It's 120 GSM, but it's plenty for what we want to have in a journal, and it won't add too much bulk. Okay, I've added my glue on all three sides. I'm just putting that into my journal there, just using stick glue at this point. Probably want something a bit stronger, but it is just a junk journal and I'm not too precious about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that up the top. This piece, I'm putting it right at the top of the page. This is for A5. I've just left a little bit there to create a tuck. So now I'm taking my postcard idea and I'm putting it inside the little pocket here, and it just secures itself up the top with a little tuck, and that's how that's going to work. I've now got space down here to further embellish with some of the other things that have been given to us in the kit this year, and now I can have fun adding things to the journal. I've got some gold corners here that I found in a charity shop haul, and I'm going to just add them down here. And then I'm just using these little folios to keep together the fussy cut pieces that we've got here. So I might now like to add some embellishment along the bottom. I could have another pocket if I wanted to. We could have a double pocket for some extra tucks. That's quite fun. There we go. I'm adding in a little pocket there for an extra tuck point. And I'm going to add that down there as well. And now I'm using some embellishments from the vintage advertising. I'm just going to add this down here. It says about Christmas trees and cutting your own Christmas tree. So I think that that is quite fitting because we can see the Christmas trees there. So we'll just have that right in the middle. And just have a little bit more is more on the embellishment over here. And I'm going to have that little ticket up there. And that is to get your Christmas tree, and we might have a little number to say what number we are. Adding a little stamp on there, little number, it says number 2, so there we go, number 2 in line, waiting for our Christmas tree. So there we go, that is this year's spread. I hope you've had fun having a look at how you can add postcards to your journal today and building them up and seeing that, you really don't need to make them complicated, but you can embellish them and have them a little bit different if you so wish, and adding lace and adding the collage textures to them, and also the interactive places to put your extra papers is just a bit of fun, and then they can come and live in the journal and they look really great tucked into pockets. And if you're following along with the Christmas Craft Off 24, I hope you have a lot of fun putting together postcards this week to add to your journals. They look great paper clipped in, they can become flips in your journal, they look wonderful as tucks for some of the other things that you can find as part of the kit. And then don't forget, you can of course add interactive elements to your postcards to create little hidden journaling spots. So these have been so much fun, guys. I hope that you really enjoy putting them together in your journals and just seeing what ideas you can come up with using the kit, using the ideas. There's nothing to be scared of. You can really just keep it very simple. Give yourself a nice border. The ink is forgiving. You can create page spreads in your journal in no time at all. So I really hope you have fun with your postcards. I've got a little idea here for you for a gift wrap idea. You could, of course, make your postcards, punch holes in them, wrap them around a parcel, and then if you've written on the other side, your loved one would be able to keep that and add that to their own journal. So that's a really nice little gift idea. And if you've enjoyed watching the ideas here, I'm Melanie from the Treasured Page. Do please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell icon to be alerted for my next video when I upload. I've got many ideas on how to make journals, lots of ephemera fun. But for now, do please head over to Crafty Landing YouTube channel and have a look and see what Marie has got in store for you. Lots of ideas and inspiration for nostalgic holiday postcards. If you love Christmas crafts, there's so much inspiration for you from all the wonderful creators and collaborators that have taken part in this Christmas craft off. So a huge thank you to Rach and Bella, and thank you one and all for watching my video today. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a comment if you would like to be entered into the prize draw, and all the details for that will be on Rach and Bella's website. Do have a look at the link below. You can get hold of the kit. There's 40% off, but there's also a lot of freebies that is being posted weekly. So also have a look if you'd like to get hold of some of the digital images that you're seeing here for free over on Rach and Bella's website. Alright guys, above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.